Kings and Queens, clash your sword. Yeah. Yeah. You kings and queens already know.
100 kings and 100 queens.
We got to. Once again, my friend. All right. Getting right into this. This is a add-on, follow-up, touch-up. Not even a touch-up. I'm not going to say touch-up. Touch-up means when you didn't finish something. Well, I still really didn't finish because I'm adding more on. It's not that it was intentionally did. It's just that dealing with certain kings and queens that are dealing with the bankruptcy stuff, I see them making a lot of mistakes. They're missing a lot of stuff, and a lot of you keep running to this AI to get your advice, and there are different ways to research. AI is only going to give you what's been input by man, and the majority of the stuff that's input by man is from blog sites, news sites, reference sites that's referencing the USC or CFR codes, and we're talking about bankruptcy. But before I go into the bankruptcy, I'm going to start off about the SF95 form, Standard Form 95, okay? Because there's been a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm going to use the SF95. One thing you need to know about the SF95 is, of course, it's for injury. It's by an employee of the federal government. Let me say that again. It's a form used against an agency or an employee of the federal government. So the first thing you got to realize is, oh, you're going to do this on a police officer? Is that police officer working for the government? Well, now you got to connect the dots. How is it that the police force is connected with the federal government, not the regular government? And I'm telling you, that's some things y'all just miss. They have to be acting in their federal capacity, meaning that they have to be working the judicial system. Now, I'm talking about, so I'm just giving an example about the judge, and not police right now, but a judge, for instance. So are they acting out or in their federal jurisdiction? Okay? Because the judicial courts are there to assist the feds, okay? And it's more and bigger than that, but I'm just giving you a small example, a piece of the pie, okay? You just got to do your research on how the judicial branch is connected to the federal branch. That's all you have to do. So, were they stealing money? Let's look at the bankruptcy. So if they're not in their judicial capacity, federal jurisdiction, then they're doing that on their for personal reasons. Now, the only thing you can get them on at that point is that they're using their title, their power, to steal funds from you. Now, their title is connected back to the state they're in, but back to the federal government. So it's an abuse of power. They acted out of their capacity, but they're putting on a front that they're in their judicial and federal capacity, but in all the while it's personal because they're stealing from an estate that was established. So if y'all haven't watched the last video I had about the bankruptcy, you need to go watch that. Okay? There's a lot of you that are dealing with bankruptcy and just have no clue. Y'all using it as a tool to stall the courts. But in this video, I'm going to break this stuff down where you're not going to want to stall anymore. You can't keep going rope-a-doping with these people. I told y'all that in the last video. And I honestly hate that any of us will be filing bankruptcy in their courts. I filed my own bankruptcy. And I told y'all how to do it. So we're going to, I got so much to say, but I'm going to go ahead and get into it, and I'll come back with the things I was about to say while I'm reading, okay? It says, and this is from some different things that I took off the net, some main pointers. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to break some of it down. Not going to go too deep, but I'm going to give you enough where you can have the understanding. And this links back up to the video that I did yesterday for y'all to look at. Okay. The SF 95, a standard form 95, is a U.S. government form used to file an administrative claim. Now, what did I tell y'all about the administrators? An administrative claim under the Federal Tort Claims Act. Remember I told y'all about this administrative stuff? Let me put this in red. Let's underline it. They're administrators, and they have to do their job under the federal government. So that's all your judicial people are. They're like, and I gave this example in another video where there's a plantation with slaves on it. You got the higher person way to the top that owns all the land. Then you got the middle level. That's your federal level. Then you got your middle level, the legislative. And then you got the lower level, which is the judicial. The judicial level is the one that administrates pretty much the people and the little small things, which is still big to us. Then you got your legislative branch, okay, that handles other things too, but it's still administrative. Then you got the big federal divisions. Okay, it's all administration. They're just the overseers. They're just the federal government is just the overseers of the legislative and the judicial. Talking about the head top. And y'all should go watch Yusuf's video on the breakdown of this as well. Okay. But I always talk about their administrators. Social Security Administration, Food and Drug Administration, President Administration, Trump Administration, Obama Administration. So here we go, dealing with something where you got to squeal and tell on them because they're not doing their what? Administrative roles. So keep in mind why this form is here. Because some of you are looking at this, oh, they did this to me, why? Did they hurt you? Because they specify what type of hurt it is, what type of damage it is. What type of damage has been done? Is it done to you? We're going to get into that. Who is really done on? Or what is really done on? Administrative claim under the Federal Tort Claims Act, FTCA. It is specifically designed for individuals seeking compensation for damages resulting from the negligence. So we're going to underline this, put that in bold, underline that, or wrongful acts of federal employees. Federal employees. Let's highlight that. Now, first thing you got to ask, like I was saying, is the police officer a federal employee? So now the cops are working for, they're just in a contractor with the state that you're in. That's what the police is. So now you got to make the complaint on the state contractors. Okay? They have a cooperative agreement is what it's called with the state to DMV to regulate the rules of the highways while in that city. Even though it's still the job of the state troopers, that's why state troopers, state. You have your police department within the city limits that's handling it, or in the county limits, the sheriff. You know the level of the sheriff, okay? Bigger than the police. Now watch this, including military health care providers. The form must be submitted for claims based on, this is where it gets interesting, property damage, injury, okay, that's 2, or death. So when you see the word death, well, let me tell you how I would approach it. I would go after the state, and I'm giving y'all a great example. The state labeled me dead when they had my birth certificate and made 2 birth certificates. They got a live birth and they got a regular birth certificate, certified copy of the live birth, a imitation of the live one. Okay? They caused death to my name and made me, you as well, a dead thing, a corporation, corpse, which damaged your what? Your estate. I'm breaking this down so where y'all can use y'all brain instead of just getting mad at a judge or something and filling out an SF-95 form and not knowing what the hell you're doing. Because one thing, if your status is correct, you're not going to use an SF-95. Why? Because on the SF-95, they pretty much ask, are you a civilian? See? They ain't say, are you a foreigner? They ask, which one are you? Are you in the military? Are you a civilian? Gotcha. Your status ain't corrected. You just told the government, now it's in their system, that you're a damn civilian of the United States. See how they get y'all? Status not corrected. You just admitted, now you're back under their jurisdiction, now they can railroad you and run over you in court. Pay attention. Federal employees, including military health care providers. Now, did you catch this right here? Key word here is military. What is the United States under? State of emergency. This was allows them to not use the gold and silver and to use what? To use the fiat. The form must be submitted for claims based on property damage, let me highlight these for you. Injury. What type of injury? That's the key right there. Did the judge slap you? You better know what you're talking about. Death caused by government employees acting within. Let's put death. Highlight the death. Caused by government employees acting within. Within. This is the key, y'all. within the scope of their employment. I don't know who this is on Facebook. But anyway. So, were they acting in their scope of employment, like I told y'all? Or were they doing it personally? Now, this is how where you get them, because they was acting out, they was using their power. They were using their title off the clock. Pretty much, however you want to word that. But remember, this is about what they did to you within. Because if you ever go to court and you ever went to one of these where people use the SF 95, they'll be like, well, Your Honor, they were not acting in their scope of their employment. So this is how you got the judge then, or the hearing officer. If you weren't acting in your scope of employment, well, y'all can't take my home. You can't take my car. And we're going into the bankruptcy. If they personally benefited, okay, they was not acting in their scope of employment because their employment gives them a salary. I don't know if they really get bonuses or not, but that bonus is not going to be no lawful money. So the only way you can get them in this case is to get them using their position, which their position is their employment title, to go outside the scope of their employment. Okay? Now let's go back up to negligence. Ignoring the 236 form, which now takes it to federal court. Now you do a federal filing. This is why I told y'all who own this bankruptcy what the freak to turn in. When you turn in that 236, 232, 233 form, that orders them, because remember, bankruptcy is dealing with federal. Why in the hell are y'all in these lower courts? Because they working for the federal government, because it's bankruptcy. You might say, well, how bankruptcy is federal, King? Well, what's that number that I just told y'all about in the video they got, in the last video I made? They got a bankruptcy estate. That's a federal tax identifying number. And when they file for that, it creates a whole new jurisdiction. And y'all don't even know they create their own jurisdiction. So yes, they are acting out of their scope of their employment. Because they create a whole new estate. They give them the EFTPS system documents, which means you are able to tax the citizens or civilians of that government. Y'all see how this works? See, y'all might look at these forms and just quickly go over it and not think. This is why I keep telling every last one of y'all to slow down with what y'all doing. See, let me tell you, you can move fast while moving slow. I'm going to say it again. You can move fast while moving slow. King, how the hell you can do that? There got to be some superhero stuff. It is, because we are the superheroes here. Well, when you do things correctly and accurately and focus on what you're about to do, what you're doing, and after you do it, you can move quickly to the next step. But you're just going to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Boy, you ain't make no baby with that girl. Her eggs weren't even ready for that quick mess. The eggs crying out, "Give me another man." The damn eggs are crying out for another man to enter into the woman. Let me stop. But anyway, negligence. They ignored the 236 form. Now it becomes federal. Because they are what? Let's go up here. Administrators. And that's what it is. 31 CFR 240.14 through 17. They're the administrators that you are hiring to go to the United States Treasury to get paid. If they ignore that federal code of regulations, Code of Federal Regulations, you put them in federal court on that. That's what I told y'all. Some of y'all trying to do this stuff on your own, try to be big and bad, poke your chest out. And you have your asses handed to you. Negligence. Because remember, there are some codes. Let me find these codes for y'all. Again, and I'm kind of getting tired of repeating these codes over and over. You got 31 USC 3727. That's the process of going to the Treasury. 31 CFR 240.14 through 17, that is the assignment. An assignment cannot be made until a claim is made, so you have to do a 1099-A on the case. Take over the whole damn case, snatch it from the courts, and now it's yours. You know the value of the case. What they do, they look at all your bill collectors, the value of everybody you owe. I'm talking about the bankruptcy ones. They add all that stuff up. They multiply it times 16.666 or 200, whatever their so-called little underground tunnel cave government value is. The judge sit up there and calculate that. That's the value of the case. But for us, our value is 500. Multiply all those bills you have, all those contracts with all those bill collectors. Add them all up. That's on your bankruptcy case that they're holding. Multiply that times 500. That's your lawful money. That's your fair market value. Okay? Do a 1099-A, the total amount of all the cases. That's your principal. Y'all need to settle that with the gold, silver, one of these song D's that I got. If y'all subscribe to YouTube, it's only $29.99. Go in the description of this video, and where it says join it, click that. And when you click that, you got a $100 million deed that you get. You got a $50 million deed that you're getting. I mean, for $29, what more can you ask for? Some of you just want to be cheap, but I told y'all going to have different weapons in this fight. Right there, you get two just becoming a member joiner on YouTube. Then after you join, then you go watch the video called 236 Template and Silver Certificate Template. And it'll show you how to go about the game, how to fill all this stuff out. And there's a couple more things that you're going to need from me, but my number's on the video. Now, what is that wrongful act? They benefited personally from it. Wrongful act, I mean, everything you could think of. And make sure you let them know on this form they were acting in the scope as a federal employee under their judicial capacity for the federal government. dealing with bankruptcy under, because you need to check with the IRS to see if there is a bankruptcy estate in your name or in your Social Security number. And if it is, which 8 out of 10 it is, you need to put that tax ID number there. They operate it under this number, which makes it federal. Also, that 236. Wrongful acts. The judge did not order them to go get the money from the Treasury. That's negligence and a wrongful act. The act is, decided they ain't going to do it. But now, the other codes, here we go, write them down again. 8 U.S.C. 507 means they're liable and their duties as a what? What's that in red? Administrator. Administrative, though, but it's administrators. That's what makes it administrative. (28 U.S.C. 754) is mandated that whoever you assign is bonded. Do not assign the damn judge to go to the Treasury. Do that with a Form 56. I know the video I had 5 years ago said that, but I was just learning too. In some cases you could do it in, but we just don't do that no more. We know how to handle the Form 56. 12 CFR 51.2. The appointment of them as a receiver to receive the funds. But these are the codes you're going to use when you file it in court, in the federal court. We are suing them according to 28 U.S.C. 959. Now, let me show you how you got them. Because right here it says acting within the scope of their employment. So if they're not acting in the scope of their employment, you can sue their ass out of the scope of their employment. And that's where 28 U.S.C. 959 comes into play, because that code right there is pretty much saying they have a job to do as an administrator. If they don't do it, then they're stepping out. That's kind of like the depot, saying they're not acknowledging their God. If they're not acknowledging their God that they're under, then they can't work for the system. We don't know you. It's kind of like when Jesus said, I don't know you. RoboCop said, I don't know you. But at the same time, Jesus said, I know you not, worker of iniquity. We bring this lawsuit based on 28 U.S.C. 959. Now remember, before you sue any of these people, you have to fill out that SF-95 form. Sue them within it. The reason why they're telling y'all to do this is because they want to see was they acting within their scope of employment or out. See, it's going to either go one or two ways with this SF-95 form. If they say they was not, if they use that, they weren't acting in the scope of their employment, now you can go sue the judge personally. See how they trap them? Have them fired. Ask the courts where they can't come back and work for no government agency ever again. Also ask that they're stripped of their bar license. Report that to the bar in your area. I always want to go after their bonds. Yeah, they violated the bond too, because they got to be bonded in order to do this, but they didn't do what they're supposed to do with the 236 form. I know how to approach this stuff. We just gonna go, we got the copy of their bond. And what? What you gonna do with it? I asked about 10 people that. I don't know. Because you're just doing what everybody online tell you to fucking do. could file a claim against their bond and get paid. Is it about fiat? I don't want no fiat. Mother sucker, I want lawful money. When you scream lawful money, which the government allows you to get, then when y'all sue with any lawsuit, y'all always supposed to ask for lawful money. Not no damn fiat, because now they got you as a citizen. If you sue for lawful money, they know your status is corrected. Because the only person or being can use lawful money is the foreigner. It's the spirit of the gold and silver. And you use those credits to go buy the gold, silver, copper from the U.S. Mint, as I always say. All right, let's go into the next one. Judicial stay. Now, reason why I'm talking about the judicial stay, because I hear a lot of people, I'm asking them for a stay. Which stay are you asking for? Stay in your house? Stay in your car? Stay with the wife? Stay, because that was a king called me that was talking about pretty much you want to stay with this woman. Stay in the house. You could have asked them for that. You're married. But you're finna find out why you get a judicial stay. Some of y'all read again and just your stuff going one ear and out the other, or one eye and out the other. You ever seen that before? Somebody look with one eye and then comes out the other. King, that look disgusting. You see it too, don't you? Words going in one eye and coming out the other, and still can't see a damn thing. You saw every word of the every letter of the alphabet, and have no understanding. Anyway, because I know some of you like, man, he's just cruel. He's always insulting. No, I'm bringing attention to you to make you think. It's like Dan Calloway say, I'm just here to make you think. Damn, I'm going to have to use that one. Anyway, the purpose of a judicial stay is to temporarily halt a court proceeding. I'm going to pause right there. First of all, you got to recognize the proceeding. What is it dealing with? So who brung this proceeding? Who brung it? Was it you? Or was it people trying to take your house? People trying to take your car? The people trying to make you pay for the credit card? Child support. On some things out there for y'all. Where y'all running around doing all this other stupid stuff. Ain't settling the debt. Here's your alternatives. Some of you just don't want to listen to a word I say, don't want to believe in nothing. Want to keep rope-a-doping until your ass get tired and you're going to fall out. And when you fall out, they're going to run you over. As they already are doing. But now they're going to get you while you're laying down. Or the enforcement of a court order. So that means you need to beat them to the punch first. So the order, before, like if you know that you're about to go in foreclosure, the next thing they're going to do is take you to court. So what should you do? Either settle the debt like I've been telling y'all in my videos, or, and it's still going to line right back up with settling the debt anyway. So once you do this debt settlement process, then you're going to order the court. You're going to set up the proceeding, the court proceeding. Okay? Set up the court proceeding that they go to the Treasury and get paid. That's the order. Because remember, the judicial branch job is to work for the federal government. The 236 is a federal form. That's all y'all have to do. Same thing with child support. If child support coming at you and you gave them the 236 form, go to appellate court. some of y'all Supreme Courts are the same damn courts. Because I'm still trying to wrap my head around this shit. But anyway, and then you wind up last in really in these federal courts. That's their form. This is typically done to maintain the status quo. Remember right here it says court proceeding, halt the court proceeding, so that's on the defendant's end, or the enforcement of the court order. So say then you went first and you filed for them to go get the money. What would happen in that case, they would be the defendant and they would ask the court to stay a stay to halt the proceeding. While they scramble around trying to think about what they're going to do because they stole the lawful money anyway and they know they got it. And they gave it to Tiny Tim and they're up under their bunkers with that lawful money down there with their own currency. Now, if it was reversed, they trying to get you out your car, get you out your house, come after you for a credit card or some loan. Then your stay would be stay, because it's going back to the status quo as it said down below. Okay? Meaning back to where it was. So if you was using your credit card, they didn't cut it off, but maybe they did cut it off. And you have freedom of just, not doing anything. Then that's what your status quo would be. It would go back to the norm of where it was before this court proceeding was. There's different things now, just not to maintain the status quo. Allow time for an appeal. So, so on your end, if they're trying to get you out your house, out your car, make you pay some, allowing the time for an appeal. So y'all need to know when y'all ask for these stays that these are the things that y'all have to do. Now, those who are just talking about going back to the way it was, that's not a dismissal. That's not a dismissal. It's just giving you time to make you think what the hell you're going to do. Now y'all just keep buying time. What you going to do? Keep buying time till the day you die? Said that in the last video. I'm just keep going doing bankruptcy. That's stupid. You're allowing them to use your social to create an estate that got close to $10 billion, 1 penny short of $10 billion in the IRS tax ID account, which is a treasury account. It's your money. Find out the tax ID number, then order their ass. Do a Form 56 on it. And make it where your trust or you, the king or queen, is over that account. That tax ID number. Now you took it out of their jurisdiction. Do a 1099-A on it, on that case. See? Because even when you go get your bankruptcy number, make sure when they ask for a case number, you do not use the case numbers you are dealing with. You're going to do a 1099-A on that. Now, you can do that, but remember when you do a certificated deed of ownership, that barcode number now gobbles up the case number. So now the barcode owns or is the parent of that case. It's data. The case ain't nothing but some data, and you're going to trade that data with the United States Treasury and get paid. This is how your bill collector is going to get paid. So take heed to what I'm telling you. I know I told one queen, no, you need a barcode. You could do that, but I would use the barcode and then put the case up under the barcode. So when they want to know what that barcode number is, It's the case. I own it. Here's my certificate of deed, notarized, authenticated by the state, authenticated by the feds. You own the damn case now. Now it's foreign. It's in a foreign jurisdiction. Your trust is the trustee of the case. Now you appoint your own judge. Appoint your sister. Appoint me, goddammit. I'll whoop their ass. Now they have to bow down to you, bop to your tune. All the debt collectors in that bankruptcy. I really hope y'all are paying close attention, because I'm fed up seeing sisters and brothers go through this shiznick. Allow time for an appeal. So why y'all, oh, I gotta stay. So y'all looking at the word stay as I get to stay in my house. I get to stay in my car. No, it's only temporary. I think it's within a year. Can go up to a year, but the main thing is 30 days, 60 days, 6 months, and then a year. And you do not file for another bankruptcy within the year. Don't do that. Because if you do, you only got 30 days for the stay. So if you made that mistake, slap yourself on the ass right now and say, goddamn bad boy, bad girl, bad girl. Await the outcome of related legal matters. Gonna see what the other party gonna do. So if your petitioner asks for a stay, they want to see what you're going to do. And I know that was a queen I just talked with about this. It's just I wanted to wait what they were going to do. But were you in a stay at the moment? You can't wait on them if it wasn't a stay. And what was the stay for? You got to specify what your stay is. We want to wait the outcome of related legal matters. You might have another attorney working on something, a paralegal working on something. The feds might be doing something for you. Or address a specific issue like a bankruptcy filing. So, I'm glad they said that. Child support can be done under bankruptcy, because when you look it up, under bankruptcy, and depending on where you go, because you can't be misled, but Title 4D is one of those that's clearly in that boat for bankruptcy. Why? Because it's commerce. It's government, right? Bankruptcy. Now, a stay is not a dismissal. It simply pauses the legal action, that's of the other party coming at you, until the court lifts the stay. If you got to stay in your house or your car or not pay the credit card, it's pausing everything. While you can go file an appeal, look at the outcome of other legal matters that you filed your paperwork with the United States Treasury or district court or federal court. And then remember now, if you put something in federal court, this takes it out of the hand of the judicial level. Once that 236 gets involved, some of you, I don't know, keep looking into other things and you don't have an understanding because you're listening to all these other people flim-flam you. Common purposes of a judicial stay. Let's get into that. Pending an appeal. After a lower court, probably tribunal court, issues a judgment. See, that's the first thing happens. Everything, when these petitioners come at y'all, the court issues the judgment. And so now you're fighting against the judgment. That's all y'all doing. Fighting against a judgment. Now, if you initiated all this stuff first, you need to take over the bankruptcy proceeding. After a lower court issues a judgment, a party can file a motion to stay the ruling. This prevents the judgment from taking effect while a higher court hears the appeal, just like I was saying. So they can't move. They can't move at all. Maintaining the status quo. That's what we just came off of. A stay can keep a situation unchanged during a legal proceeding. For example, it can prevent a party from taking certain actions while waiting for a related case to be resolved. A related case. So that means there's another case going on now. You don't think you can't have more than one thing going on while you're fighting this bankruptcy. Addressing new legal developments. Okay, new legal developments is fraud going on. You're dealing with the United States Treasury, CID division. A stay might be issued to pause the proceedings while waiting for a crucial piece of evidence and arbitration. I told y'all about arbitration decision. So y'all can go to arbitration. I got a video on arbitration. Type that in, King Stevian arbitration, and it'll come up. I got an arbitration letter. If y'all need that template, I'll send it to you. The email cityside2006@duck.com. And so when you have that 236, keep in mind now that the arbitrators or mediators is not going to take one side. They're going to look at both parties, what they come in with, and if you got that federal document and ordered them to go to the Treasury to get paid, guess who's going to win that arbitration? You is. Because you're going along with what the federal codes say. 31 U.S.C. 3123, 31 U.S.C. 3727, and 31 CFR 240.14 through 17. And those other codes that I gave. You're appointing them. 12 CFR 51.2. While waiting for a crucial piece of evidence, an arbitration decision, or a settlement between the parties. Bankruptcy. In bankruptcy cases, an automatic stay is triggered when a bankruptcy petition is filed, immediately stopping creditors from taking further action to collect debts. Now, did you file the bankruptcy? Of course, they ain't going to file it on you, but when you file bankruptcy, you need to make sure you establish your own bankruptcy estate number and bring that to the court and assign the judge or hearing officer, whoever it may be or she may be, to oversee it. Now, you can do a Form 56F with the judge, like I was saying earlier, because now you are assigning the judge to oversee the entire case. They're not in control no more. You hired them and you can fire them. But no, you don't do the 236 to them. The 236s are given out to all the bill collectors. And that also puts the judge in a predicament where their job under their federal employee status. All right, pause in enforcement. A stay of execution stops the enforcement of a judgment, such as stopping the sale of property or preventing a sentence from being carried out. So that's what you need to file. You're in a house. Stay of execution. Okay? Other legal processes. A stay can be used to pause a case for other reasons, such as when a party wants to challenge the court's jurisdiction. So, King, that's dealing with the driver's license, this is for you. You're challenging the court's jurisdiction. Now, some of you just say you challenge jurisdiction but don't have no proof of that. Your jurisdiction is your EFTPS document that you have from the United States Treasury for your Indian government. If you're dealing with a driver's license, that driver's license number is a coda bar. That's what it is. Let me see how many digits this thing is. Again, that barcode number is, damn, I don't even know. I think it's 14 digits. But that's a coda bar. That's only dealing with medical, transportation, delivery, cargo. So with your Indian government, you have your own driver's license that you can make, and you're out of their jurisdiction. And you can clearly prove that. Those documents have to be put in the court documents. And you have to have proof that you're on the rolls, the Indian rolls, or put all your family members, tribal members in there. List who they are. If they have positions, put the position. Put yourself down as the chief, head chief. Okay? Can't argue with that one. Party wants to challenge the court's jurisdiction, so its jurisdiction is personal jurisdiction. They don't have it. Subject matter jurisdiction, they don't have it because they're not in control of your license in your Indian government. They don't have personal because you're on that roll, Indian roll that you created. You need to have that signed, notarized, sent to your birth state, then sent to the feds. Once it's on the feds, it's recognized. So y'all talking about how to become federally recognized. There you go. Now, every so-called federally recognized Indian government does not fall under the jurisdiction of the United States. It's just you're doing business with the United States. King sent me some kind of, I guess he took it from a document saying that every federal recognized Indian government is under jurisdiction of the United States. That's not true. I just told you one way and not to be under them. All right? Or when there are related criminal proceedings. So hope y'all got this. Giving y'all a way out. How to handle this stuff. So, King, you can take them to arbitration. Arbitration stops whatever the hell you're going through. Y'all seen it up there at top. We just read. I don't care if it's child support. I don't care if it's driver's license. I don't care if it's bankruptcy. I don't care if it's a credit card payment. Go to arbitration. Go find an arbitration, a mediator. File it in the courts. Get that stuff done. That stops everything because, see, again, the mediator, the arbitrator, is not going to sit there and take the other person's side. They're going to look at the law, the statutes or the ordinances. Really, it's the federal is what they're going by. In most cases now. I know when I went, my case was dismissed for what I went for. Made an agreement, that was it. And you got every right. That's what the arbitrator said, the mediator said. They cannot interfere with commerce. So if you're on child support and you can get with the mother or whatever, or the father, go to arbitration. Y'all sit down with y'all marriage. This is what I'm willing to do. you know, and do it that way. Okay? The length of a judicial stay depends on its type and purpose. Keep that in mind. Type and purpose. Ranging from, just like I said at the beginning of the video, 30-day automatic stay in federal civil cases to potentially indefinite permanent stays in criminal cases. So you got a criminal case, y'all know now that y'all can do this too. Appellate, you could definitely do appellate court. Arbitration, ask for a stay, give you time to get all your paperwork together. Because a lot of y'all in some situations. It's what you need. Through some jurisdictions, limit stay orders to a specific duration like 6 months. And I said that. 6 months. Unless a further speaking order is issued. Some stays are temporary. And most of y'all doing it's bankruptcy or these mortgages. That's what they are. They're temporary. Stop living your life like that, man. I can't imagine living my life like, hey, I want to do a stay. I just want to keep fighting this. Some stays are temporary, lasting until a certain event occurs. A certain event occurs. What is that event? I already told you. Some stays are temporary, lasting until a certain event occurs, while others may last for a specific period to allow for what? Appeals or other proceedings. That's the legal proceedings I was telling y'all about. Types of stays and their duration. You got an automatic stay, that's 30 days. Is the period after the federal judgment. Federal judgment. See that? During which proceedings are automatically, see that? Federal judgment. During which proceedings, federal judgments, during which proceedings are automatically suspended. According to Rule 62 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And you go to Cornell Law University on that. Just go to, y'all see it on the screen, law.cornell.edu/rule_62. But you can type that in and it'll come up. See? So you see where you need to do your filing at. Right? Temporary versus permanent stays. Temporary stays are commonly issued to provide brief pause in proceedings until a particular event occurs or a motion is resolved. How y'all going to resolve it? 236, 232, 233 form. Permanent stays effectively end the action without a final judgment, barring further prosecution or litigation on the same matter. That's why you can step to them and say, you want to negotiate. Automatic stays. These occur by operation of law, such as in bankruptcy filings, and do not require a separate court order to take effect. Their duration is typically dictated by statute. Keep that in mind, y'all. Or the status of the underlying case. Stay of mandate. A stay of mandate in the federal appeals process may be granted for up to 90 days to allow for a petition, filing a petition for a writ or certiorari to the what? Supreme Court. Now, The Supreme Court is where you go when they want to ignore your deed polls. Okay? But I suggest y'all read up on those. I know a lot of kings that I associate with and did videos on those. And I had a meeting about that in one of the classes a couple years ago. According to Rule 41 of Federal Rules of Appellate Procedure, that's your appeals court. Court-ordered stay. The length of a court-ordered stay is determined by the judge and can be temporary until a specific condition is met. So the judge says, you need to do this, do this, do that, do that. So remember, if you came from your last court date and the judge or hearing officer told you to do something, you did not do it, then this is why you lost your case. The condition has to be met. Some of you just be so happy and run out and start celebrating, go buy some McDonald's and throw some fries in there like you're throwing money, making it rain. E.g., awaiting evidence. Evidence. So the person, the queen I was talking to, this looks like your situation right here. This court-ordered stay. Awaiting evidence, and what you need to turn in was that evidence. And I told you what you need to do. All for a set period. For example, some jurisdictions may limit stay orders to 6 months. See? Unless extended by a specific court order for exceptional circumstances. Stay of charges. In some criminal cases, a prosecutor may stay charges, putting the case on hold. This can last for a specific period. 1 year in some Canadian jurisdictions, which is not us, before the charges are either dropped or brought back before the court. A permanent stay may also be issued, which effectively acts as a permanent immunity from prosecution. So it looks like a lot of y'all criminals, some of y'all went out there stealing food because y'all wasn't going to get no food stamps and you get none of them SNAP benefits. You snapped on them. You went to Walmart parking lot, started robbing people with their damn groceries. Man ain't had nothing but some goddamn dog food in the goddamn car, and you stole that. Your ass was so goddamn hungry, so I'm finna eat the fucking dog food. Your damn dog look like he on motherfucking crack because you ain't feeding the damn dog. You eating all the goddamn beautiful ass beef out the can. Anyway. A permanent stay may also be issued, which effectively acts as a permanent immunity from prosecution. So, y'all kings that's in trouble, facing jail time, there you go. A permanent stay. Request a permanent stay. Okay. What happens after the stay expires? Proceedings continue. Once the stay period ends, the court can resume the original proceedings. Case may be dismissed. A court may issue a dismissal if the conditions for the stay are not met. So make sure the judge told the other party to do such and such. Or if certain time limits are exceeded. I would also ask them, what is the time limit? Okay, ask the judge that. Case can be appealed. If the stay was granted to allow for an appeal, so that's what you can do. Okay, remember that. Say, I need time to file an appeal. Okay, the court will continue to handle the appeal process after the stay ends. The length of judicial stay depends on its type and purpose. Range from 30-day automatic stay in federal civil cases to potentially indefinite permanent stays in criminal cases. Do some jurisdictions limit stay orders to a specific duration, like 6 months, unless a further speaking order is issued. And I already said that. Some stays are temporary, lasting until a certain event occurs, while it may last for a specific period to allow appeals. So, I'm not going to go over all these right here because a lot of this is just repetitive. Okay? But y'all got it. Y'all got the main bread and butter of this. Y'all should be able to understand this fully, thoroughly, without, you know, pulling your hair out. Even your bald head. You don't got no hair on your head. You still be pulling your hair out. You go in those little hair molecule thing, holes in your head, and you start pulling it. Like you get tweezers and be pulling it. You want to pull your hair so damn bad using tweezers. God dang. You that stressed? Need some of these 100 Kings, 100 Queens heel pills. That's what you need. But anyway, Kings and Queens, that's it. Go watch the last video I did on the bankruptcy. Again, the songs, they're free. The 3 songs I did, the one with Kalani, the Kalani track called Folded, the one with Clips, So Be It, and then the 2 Slippery with my son. Okay, so donate $25 for the deeds that we have, gold backed by Gold and Moissanite. It's $25 to donate on paypal.me/STT Estate Trust. Make sure you put your name, make sure your email is up to date in the note section, and you will get the deeds that's valued $120 million. And that's good enough to settle your debt. Use the 236 on, you know, okay? And that's about it, Kings and Queens. Be on the lookout for the full mixtape, Like Father, Like Son, and then the album song, Like Father, Like Son. All right? If you use this information to get free, do not blame me. Blame the L, the O, the R, the D. Won't he do it? Oh, yes, he'll do it. So what you need to do is get this knowledge and start to pursue it. Of King Stevian, representing the 100 Kings and the 100 Queens. I am out. Peace.